Castlevania, perhaps one of the most well-known names in all of video gaming history. But most likely you know this game because of its sequels and spin-offs, and not necessarily because of this original title. In fact, I myself, growing up in the 80s, didn't own a copy of this game and didn't actually see a physical cartridge for the first time until the early 2000s when I was in college. Um, I was very familiar with the sequels, Simon's Quest and Dracula's Curse, uh, but this original title I just never got a chance to see or play or rent. And when I did finally get a hold of this, I was really struck by two things. The first is just how simple this game is. It's 6 stages, very linear. There are no hidden branching paths, there are no alternate routes, there are no extra characters. It's one character straight through, play a stage, find a boss, defeat him, move on to the next stage, repeat. The second thing that I noticed when I played this game was how incredibly difficult it is, but in the most fair way possible. This game is a pattern, it is a puzzle. And through repetition and through learning the enemy maneuvers, learning where the monsters come from, learning the boss patterns, this game is very, very learnable. And even though it took me several years to master this game and get to the point where I could do it uh, even somewhat repeatably, I'm very proud to say that it's now become one of my all-time favorite games. I play it regularly, um, and I'm hoping that if this is one of those games that has been a Mount Everest for you, or that you've just struggled to get into, or that the difficulty is keeping you from enjoying this, I'm hoping that this video can maybe help you get over that hump and learn to appreciate what is probably one of the greatest classics on the entire NES library. So, without further ado, let us jump into Castlevania. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Castlevania is all about, this is the story of a vampire hunter named Simon Belmont who is infiltrating Dracula's castle to end his reign of terror and evil once and for all. Your main weapon, as you can see here, is a whip. You're going to be moving through the castle, 6 different stages, whipping lanterns and torches to cause them to drop items, power-ups, etc. The first few items you'll usually find are upgrades to your whip. There are 2 total, so as you can see now, my whip has gone from a leather whip to a Morning Star and then to an elongated Morning Star. After this is as powered up as it gets. As you also see as I'm going through, you want to hit kind of more or less every candle that you can. There's a couple that you'll avoid because there may be some weapons you don't want. But for the most part, try to get them all. There are 5 different sub-weapons that you're going to pick up throughout the game. The one I have right now is the Holy Water, which is, in my opinion, arguably the best item throughout the game. There's also daggers, axes, a little cross-shaped boomerang, and a pocket watch. The pocket watch is unique, and it's the only one that's not upgradable from the start, whereas the Holy Water, boomerang, axe, and dagger all can be arguably upgraded. If you saw that little Roman numeral 2 that I picked up, that's called the double shot. Essentially what that does is it increases the number of sub-weapons you can have on the screen at a time. To fire a sub-weapon, press up and attack, and you'll throw that item. At the start, you can only have 1 copy of each item on the screen at once. Once you use the double shot, you can have 2, and then there's a triple shot as well that allows you to have up to 3. I want to talk about this right away because it's one of the most important aspects of this game is quickly getting to the triple shot, especially with the Holy Water. The way you can get the double and triple shots are... There's a couple spots throughout the game where you're just going to find them, hidden in a wall, hidden in a brick, but the biggest way is through using that item. Every time you kill an enemy or break a candle with that item, it kind of adds this running ticker. I believe it's somewhere around 10 items or 10 objects that you destroy with the item before you'll get the double, and then it's subsequently the triple shot. Once you get to the triple shot, like I have now, I would honestly recommend that you don't use it much anymore because you don't want to waste your ammo. All of the sub-weapons do have limited ammunition, and that's represented by your hearts. So as you notice, as I'm going through, I'm picking up hearts, small and large. Small ones add 1 heart per drop. The big ones I think are 5. So you kind of want to just rack up as many hearts as you can, so once you get to the triple shot, stop using them. This first boss is actually very easy. He's honestly the only boss that's actually not ideal, or that the holy water is not the ideal weapon. Axe is arguably better, but I'm just in a habit of getting the holy water right away, keeping it as long as I can. On that note, when it comes to getting and keeping the weapons, all of the weapons are in very predictable places. So if you learn the candles, for example, the one that I just passed there, that's the boomerang. That's why I avoided it. You need to learn where the items you want are so that you don't accidentally grab something that you don't want. Some of that can be avoided by just kind of not blindly jumping straight into an item or a drop as it falls, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. There's also the inevitable thing that happens in this game where enemies will sometimes randomly, like right there, that enemy just dropped a boomerang. It's very frustrating when you are killing an enemy and you get an item that you didn't want because it replaces what you have and there's no option. The holy water, like I said, is my personal favorite, and it's pretty much only found in one spot per stage. Some of the stages, that spot is very early in the stage, and so if you miss it, you're screwed. So just be careful. What you just saw there with that knight, that's why that holy water is so good. It'll stun lock enemies. So if you can throw it and time it right, while the enemy is kind of burning on that little flame, they can't move. Not really talking much about the gameplay here because this whole first and second stage are pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of challenge to them. They're really just kind of teaching you the mechanics, teaching you how to jump, teaching you how to control Simon. Pay attention to the video because there are little spots where I'm kind of showing you, where there's health, where there are item upgrades and things like that. But yeah, there's not a lot of notes here. This little section is where it first starts to get a little bit difficult. These traps, are instant death if they do hit you, so your timing needs to be pretty precise going through there. Couple enemies that get a little bit tougher here. Take a couple hits to kill. Nothing here is, like I said, too difficult. I think the real challenge in this stage, if any, is the Medusa heads, which we've already seen a couple of times. It's a very predictable pattern. A lot of times if you're in a hallway or area with the Medusa heads, if you just walk straight forward, you'll be fine. But just take it slow, try not to panic, and they're really not that difficult to get past. Usually the only times they really cause a problem is when there's a lot of things going on the screen besides them, as you'll see later in stage 3. Here's a good example where you can kind of just move straight forward, really not too much issue. Keep moving on. I would always pick up the points, or the little money bags as they drop. That's just points. It's going to give you extra health or extra lives as you go. This fight with Medusa is a perfect example of where the triple shot holy water is so good. Once she appears and starts moving around, you can just stun lock her with the holy water. She can't come anywhere close to you. And that's pretty much the strategy that we will use on all of the bosses, other than the Grim Reaper takes a little bit of timing, and then Dracula has his own little strategy. But for the most part, that's the way to get through this game. Okay, stage 3 here is where things start to get a little bit difficult because there's a lot of enemies that have what seem like erratic patterns, but it's very predictable. These little flea men, you just want to move past them, wait till they land behind you, and then get a shot in with the whip. One shot will take them down. Keep climbing here. This part gets difficult because if you fall, you will die, and we're about to start seeing these ravens, which can be a pain too. Best thing to do with them is one of two things. Either when you first see them start to swoop down, they will kind of pause in midair, see where they're at, and if they're in line with you, get ready to whip them. If not, they usually just kind of go straight at you and then straight backwards and will just fly off the screen. The other strategy for the ravens, if you're really having a tough time, is if you climb up or down a staircase like the one I'm on. If you're on a staircase and an enemy hits you, it will not knock you back and you cannot fall. The ravens will actually die when they hit you, so if you have enough health, just go ahead and take the hit, let them hit you while you're on the stairs, and then move on. The most frustrating parts about the ravens are actually not how much damage they do, but the fact that, yeah, if they hit you, they will knock you back, knock you off a pit, and you'll have to start the whole section over again. Medusa heads are a little bit tricky through this area, but they're not terribly bad. Keep moving forward here. Don't get that. That's the stopwatch right above you. There it is. A few more ravens to keep an eye on. Mostly just kind of stop them before they get to you. Don't try to move too far, because then they might come up behind you, or if you're dealing with too many things on the screen, they're a challenge. But just watch where they stop when they hover. These skeleton towers aren't too bad either. They'll always shoot 2 fireballs, which you can destroy. It's just about timing. Don't go in there and just try to spam them with the whip. Just keep the timing, attack at the same rate that they spit the fireballs, and you'll be fine. If you're really struggling, just stun lock them with the holy water. Things get a little bit tricky here because you've got the skeletons plus the ravens plus these bone towers. Just kind of take one enemy at a time, you'll be fine. Same thing here. Don't move on till you take out the one. A little foreshadowing of Dracula's keep there in the background. The Medusa heads, don't try to jump over them. If you just take a quick little sidestep backwards or forwards, you'll be fine. Now here with the mummies, the best strategy is to get up here with the holy water and wait till you can kind of hit both at once. Don't get down on the ground with them because their projectiles are hard to dodge. That block right behind me there you can see was some meat. You can grab it, but if you do, you have no way to get back up on that ledge. So it's best to just stay up top, hit the enemies with like an arcing projectile, either the axe or the holy water, and not even get down there on the ground with them. So that already is the halfway point of the game. Things ramp up at this point because enemies start doing more damage from this point forward. We are now going to be kind of in the area of a 4-hit death rule, so everything from this point forward, 4 hits and you're dead. This first little moving platform here is a very easy place to die because these bats fly at you in it's a timed, predictable pattern. Best thing you want to do is you don't want to fight them while you're on the bridge. Best thing to do is wait until the platform is coming at you at the same time that a bat is, kill the bat, then jump on. Any other timing and you're likely to have to fight a bat while on that moving platform, and it probably won't end well. Here's another example. Wait till they're coming kind of simultaneously, and as long as you can kill the bat and still jump to the platform like that, you should be fine. Duck under those rocks, get up here, hop down here. Don't worry about that one, he'll fall right behind you. Try not to even mess with these candles. Sometimes the timing of jumping and getting them makes it easy to fall off. The best thing is just to ride the platform all the way to the end. This little area here can be overwhelming if you try to go too fast. These harpies, birds will fly at you with the flea men. As they're coming at you, just stop, take them out one at a time. Even if one's dropped behind you, take it out, don't keep moving. They will eventually start ganging up on you, and it will overwhelm you very, very quickly. So just take him out, each one that comes down, whip him before you get here to the end. This little skeleton, if you can time it right, you can actually stun lock him down there with the holy water, but he doesn't always go far enough down. Just do your best. He usually drops a bunch of hearts for you. Sometimes it's points. Before you move on here to the last little section, there is some meat in this hallway, so if you're desperate for some health, you'll get some here. That second candle was a dagger, so we definitely want to avoid that. These ones are much easier to stun lock. And as promised, there's some meat right here. Try to get all the hearts through this area because you'll need them for the fight with Frankenstein's monster here in just a minute. Keep moving forward. There's another one of these little skeleton snakes. Just try to stun lock them down there. Grab some hearts. You can break that block for a big heart as well. Just try to collect all of these. Now, Frankenstein's monster can be very difficult if you let him move. If you keep him locked here with the triple shot holy water, he'll never actually be able to come forward and get to you. If he does, then the flea man that's on his back will start jumping around and spitting fireballs. It's a very difficult fight if you can't just lock him down early on. The axe is another really good weapon to use against him. It just takes more timing and a lot of coordination to kind of jump and dodge some of the fireballs. With that, we're moving on to stage 5, which is the longest stage so far, and does have some challenges. Right here out of the gate, you've got 2 flea men to deal with, and you want to try really hard not to die in this stage because the only example of the holy water was actually right there. It's very early in the stage, so if you don't have it or if you die later, you're honestly better off just losing all of your lives so you can restart at the beginning of the entire stage to get the holy water. Because I can say that the Grim Reaper at the end of this stage, even though he can be beaten with Boomerang or the axe, I personally find that anything other than the holy water is very, very difficult. So having the triple shot holy water in this stage is more important than in any other stage in the game. Keep moving through, you're going to get plenty of hearts. There's even also one hidden 1-up in this stage, the only one in the game, at least that I'm aware of. Keep moving through. You should have gotten a couple 1-ups at this point. When you get to this spot, just keep pushing right against the wall, and a little 1-up will pop up down there in the bottom left. Why they included that one there and don't have them anywhere else in the game, don't know, but we'll take it. Watch these flea men, try not to let them overwhelm you, and keep an eye on the blood skeletons because they will just keep coming back. That block right in front of me is health, but if you get it, then you can't jump up here to the left, which to get on that platform, then there are a couple of money bags and things you can get, a heart up there. But then before you move on, definitely hit that block, grab the meat before moving on to the next section. Here's where we see the Axe Knights for the first time. These can be very difficult unless you have the holy water. Best thing to do is throw a holy water and then back up, let them walk into that flame. It'll stun lock them. It might be enough to kill them. If not, just repeat and do it again. Sometime while they're stun locked, you can actually just hit them with the whip as well, but they're easy to take out if you just kind of lock them in place. This room was kind of a training room for how to deal with them because there's a couple more later in the stage that do get a lot more tricky because there's other things going on, but it's the same pattern. Throw the holy water, back up. Try not to let them get off the screen because they will respawn, but stun lock them, move away, let them walk into the fire, hit the axe if it comes at you. Here's another one to practice on. There's a lot of treasure in this hallway, so if you want some extra points, you can climb up, grab lots of little money bags. You'll also get one of the other hidden treasures in the game. If you've been watching the video, I've picked up, I don't know, a half a dozen or so of them. There's 18, I believe, total. There's basically just certain spots that if you stand on the right spot, duck on the right spot, a little flashing treasure, looks like some of them are treasure chests, there's a crown, there's money bags, they're all just worth extra points. You don't need them, there's nothing special about them other than if you just want points or to be able to say that you've collected all the treasures. Some of them are very difficult to get, but yeah, I believe there's 18 of them total. Just a fun little Easter egg to try to collect as you go through the game. Okay, move through this door and we are almost to the end of the stage. Definitely in one of the hardest parts of the level, maybe of the whole game here coming up, but not too difficult if you just pay attention to enemy patterns. Take that guy out before you try to get too many candles so you don't have to deal with the fireballs. Keep moving forward here. There's a boomerang right there, and I would assume you don't want it, but if you did, there it is. For this guy, if you actually just kind of stay halfway on the staircase like this, his fireballs will go right over your head. Be aware of the blood skeleton so you don't end up walking up to him. Simon is notoriously slow on staircases. And there's one last health pickup right here in that wall if you need it. Okay, this hallway here, you've got to deal with Medusa heads and the Axe Knights. Same strategy as before. If you walk straight ahead and don't jump, the Medusa heads will always be able to be avoided by just walking backwards and forwards. Because if you see, they kind of dip under the floor there. There's 2 Axe Knights, deal with them in the same way that I talked about before. Alright, here's the Grim Reaper. First thing you need to do is quickly get a bottle of holy water broken on the far right platform, and then just keep spamming them. The trick is you don't want to throw all 3 holy waters up there right away. You kind of have to get some timing to make sure that they keep him stun locked. So it's kind of a jump and throw, jump and throw, jump and throw. If you throw all of them at once, they'll burn out and then he'll get a chance to move. Once he starts moving around the room and throwing his sickles around, he becomes much more difficult to dodge and deal with. But if you can stun lock him down early on, he's not that difficult. Alright, last stage. This one's short, but there are some challenges that you need to be aware of. There's an axe there if you want it. I do not recommend it. This stage, you've got some giant bats. There is a pattern to moving through to avoiding them. When you see the one below like that, you want to jump and kind of hit the left end of that platform, kind of jump over him. That keeps him from flying up and hitting you. Keep jumping over. The trick is just don't stop. The ones above, when they're on the top, kind of jump up and hit them. That keeps them from dive bombing you. It'll take some practice. That's one of the areas that it's very easy to die in this stage. When you get to this next area, you get a little bit of a respite with just a couple of skeletons before you move on to a very difficult section with some flea men and the clock tower. Move to the right here to try to get the skeleton to jump over with you, then jump back over. You want to take care of that one up top and try not to go too far to the left because you don't want to spawn the flea men yet. When you get to this area, there is a pattern to move through here. Watch where I move and how I do it. Try to get onto the stairs as quickly as possible because they can't hit you and knock you down while you're on the stairs. Just move quickly but deliberately and just keep an eye on their pattern. You'll be okay. Now that you're to this point, you're at the home stretch. Okay, here's the final ascent to Dracula. The nice thing about this point is, from this point forward, even if you die, you will never go back further than right here. You will always start here. Even if you continue the rest of the game, you just get to fight Dracula. Move on in here. If you have the triple shot holy water, you're golden. He has 2 forms. The first form is actually more difficult than the second. He teleports around the room. He will open his cloak, shoot 3 fireballs. You have a very limited window to hit him in the head. Every hit does 1 point of damage. You have to hit him 16 times to take him out. If you time it just right, you can actually jump all 3 fireballs like I am, hit him in the head on your way down. The difficult part is that his teleportation is completely random. I can't really advise on how to do it, but there is a way you can kind of psych him out and move in a certain direction, and then at a certain point you kind of just backtrack, go the other way. You can usually get lucky and with enough practice make it so that he never teleports on top of you, but sometimes it's still going to happen. When you get to his second form, you are almost always going to get hit at least once. So if you're kind of in the situation I am right now, where I only have, a quarter of my total health, very low odds that I'm going to succeed. When you do get his last, that last hit, you kind of want to keep him on the far, or I should say, don't take his last bit of health off until he is kind of appearing on one edge of the screen. This last form, if you can't stun lock him because you don't have the triple shot holy water, he will start jumping across the screen at you. You want to give yourself as much time as possible, so having him start at the edge of the screen rather than the center is just going to give you more opportunity and more time. As you can see, that pattern there works really well. Triple shot holy water, you could just stun him down. If you don't have the triple shot, you can still do it. It's basically just jump up, hit him in the head, stun him with the one holy water as he kind of keeps jumping and progressing across the screen. You might have to take a hit or two. He doesn't take that much damage to take out. Just do your best, try to avoid him, run under his legs when he jumps. But with that, that's Castlevania. As you can see, about 25 minutes total to play through the whole game. It's a very patterned game. It's beautiful in its simplicity and I don't know. I think it's just a textbook perfect game. Like I love the music. I love the graphics. I love the tight controls of Simon. And I hope you do too. Or at least I hope that if you don't, maybe by playing this, it'll inspire you to try the game yourself, give it another shot, and maybe you too can grow to love this game as well. So if you're also a fan of this game, if this helped you, please write in. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your stories. Did you ever get to play this when you were younger? Did this was this a rental that just infuriated you, or were you a natural at it? Share your stories, share your frustrations, your love. I'd love to hear them. But more than anything, I hope you enjoyed the video and can't wait to see you next time. So take care.